Your reading is a weapon that you can use to either make or mar a man or make or mar a relationship. If you're not enlightened, if your brain is empty, men will run to the next person who seems smarter than you. That's why some men sometimes they will tell you, I can't leave this woman no matter what she does. And if you see the woman, you might think, what's so special about this woman?
She's just ordinary.
But she's not. You don't know what she carries. What she carries.
She's the oracle in the corner, in the home.
He doesn't make a move without consulting because he knows what he carries. And so his level of disrespect has a limit.
My first child, after she was like 6 months when I took him, and then I had these gallbladder stones. It was so painful, and they had to split me open.
Wow.
And the doctor said it's because of your second child, but they wouldn't advise me to terminate it. I should just try to carry it up to term, even if it's not up to the 9 months. Then they will just do the surgery, take out the gallbladder stone and bring out the baby. And it was so scary for me.
At some point in time, I told myself I wasn't ever going to get married because of what I saw my parents go through. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane Lawrence and I come with a lot of juicy content. And of course, you guys have been asking for Esther, and Esther is back here. And together we're collaborating on our channels, not just my channel. I am also going to be appearing on her channel as well. So do well to subscribe to her channel.
Sizzling Gist with LC.
It's going to be written boldly right here. She is repackaging her channel. She usually used to do
gossip, celebrity gossip, news, and all of that.
But I tell you, Esther is one woman who is so knowledgeable when it comes to relationship, and she's a married woman. She's been married for
almost 7 years.
Almost 7 years, and she's got 2 kids, 2 lovely children, Chantel and Isabella, and she's been taking good care and impacting in their lives.
Thank you.
And she has a wealth of knowledge as a married woman, and I think you guys will benefit wholesomely from her channel. Honestly. Yeah. So
thank you so much.
Today we're going to talk about something which I think is the truth, but a lot of women have not come to terms with it, which is the fact that men are scared to lose. No, men are afraid of women who scare them. Yeah.
And that's deep.
It's actually deep, and we've not come to realize it. Men don't want women to come to that point where they place them on that pedestal where they have to choose whether to stay
and behave
or to run away and lose a great woman.
A good woman.
Good woman.
You know, what you're saying is so powerful because the feminine energy is so powerful, and it can be intimidating, you know, because what is strength? I saw this quote somewhere and it really rings true. Strength is power contained. You know, when someone is powerful, I'm powerful, and you're loud about it, and it's out there that you're powerful. Maybe you're an extrovert, or there's just something about you that is in people's faces. That's power. You know, anyone can see that you're powerful, but a woman, the strength of a woman, and coupled with the fact that the feminine energy is fragile. Now that is, you take that power and you contain it, and it's contained within the personality of this woman. And you see her, she's unassuming, she's fragile, as if she can't hold a fly, you know, with a shy smile. But when that woman unleashes her power, her strength, it can drive any guy.
And that's why we find a lot of men in this day and age, even before now, trying to subdue a woman, to place them under them in such a way that they have total control. If the man says, you're not moving from here, you don't move. And if you do move, you've threatened his ego as a person, his masculinity.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so what they do is they try to break you in different ways, maybe emotionally, psychologically, physically. Is the physical one that I advise women to not
Stay.
in. Emotional abuse is also there, because when you're emotionally abused, you become a shadow of yourself. Take, for instance, Annie. Annie might not have been physically abused by Two-Face, but the fact that
Over
she has
time,
gone through emotional traumas from his hand, just by the mere fact of loving, pouring too much love on him, he sees that she became deficit. She allowed so much excesses, like forgiving his cheating, accepting his children from other women. And he felt like it was easy to just be with this woman and continue in his excesses. So what that made Annie to become is a woman who was scared to lose the man. And eventually, if we're going by what the rumor says, or what we've seen on social media of Two-Face coming out to say that, oh, they're divorcing, it just goes out to show that when you're scared to lose a man, you will eventually lose him.
Because the vibe you'll be portraying is that fearful vibe.
And he will say, they always sense it.
Like a hunt dog.
They always do sense it.
Yeah.
So, but when you switch the table around, become that woman who is not scared to walk away from situations that do not favor her. And he knows, coupled with the fact that you're not solely dependent on him. I think one of the reasons why women stick in situations that are not favorable to them is because they're solely dependent on the man. So if you leave, where am I going to find the next meal? Who is going to provide? And that's another financial abuse that women allow.
It's just too much. I just want to say something about, Annie. There's a clip I watched from Young, Famous, and African.
Yeah.
And they were all seated at the table, Iniedo, Swanky, and Kefi, the other African stars. And Two-Face was boldly, and I don't have anything about against Two-Face, because he's still my guy. I love his music. But what he said that day, I was just not.
What did he say?
I was so angry. He was like, I can love a woman, but then if I go out there and I see another woman that I'm attracted to, if I want to F-U-C-K, I will F-U-C-K.
He said that.
He said that.
I probably wasn't watching, because I know I watched throughout that. I didn't see.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to look for the clip, and I saw it on TikTok. Everyone was embarrassed. And Annie was like, speak for yourself. Are you speaking for yourself, or you're speaking for all the men? And he was saying, this is my own belief. The fact that I love you doesn't mean my life ends there. If I want to smash, he actually used the word smash. Smash.
No, that was Diamond, not Two-Face.
It's Two-Face. Like, I was shocked.
Is it this last season?
I don't really know which season.
But did you watch this last season?
I watched here and there, but this particular one, I was just scrolling through TikTok and it popped up. And then Annie stood up and walked away. She stood up from the table.
So I probably think this wasn't, it wasn't last season.
Yeah, but whichever way, I just feel like for a guy to bold enough
because
to say that,
he sees that this is a woman who is not going to walk away.
She is
no matter what he does, he will still come back, apologize with a ring, renew their vows, tell her how much he loves her and how he's appreciative of the fact that regardless of all his flaws and excesses, she's still there to forgive and care for him. See, listen, the truth is that if you do not stand your ground and know your worth as a woman, and know that you cannot allow a man take for granted who you are as a person, because one, at this point in time, it feels as if the way men treat women is like I'm not saying all men, all right?
Yeah.
But the majority of news that we've seen on social media platforms, it feels as if men are against women. And women are now much more defensive, building a wall around them
They
just
are
to
aware.
protect themselves.
Yes, they are aware of what has been going on for ages.
Yeah, and that's why you find content creators talking about dark feminine energies.
Yes.
It's all about them being, it's what I call self-preservation.
You have to stand up for yourself.
You have to stand up for yourself because the truth is, I am coming from a background where I have seen my narcissistic father maltreat my mom in a way that made her almost a shadow of herself.
Our
If not
fathers
for
did.
our fathers did,
Our fathers
if
did.
not for the fact that I am enlightened with regards to how these trends, these behavioral patterns occur, I think by now she would have just been 6 feet beneath because our mothers don't even know these are the things that this men, or these are the characters, or these are the the character traits that this men have. They never really knew what narcissism is.
And you know, they will say things like, men will always be men. No, a human being, a good human being should always be good.
This is not hate campaign towards men.
No.
Wallahi. It's just that women have given too much room to men to play with their emotions, their lives. A lot of women have lost their lives over time because they wanted to play the submissive. They sat down to think about what society will say at the end of the day if they walk out of their marriages. Or they sit down to think, okay, so how am I going to support my children at the end of the day? If a man starts to realize that you can't walk away from tough situations, from all of the mess that he has put you in. If a man starts to realize that you are going to absorb his energy, his negative energies, no matter how badly he throws them at you, he will keep doing the same thing over and over again, sucking the life out of you. You becoming a second fiddle of yourself, a shadow, and he will dump you at the end of the day and get someone younger, fresher, and more vibrant, who knows her worth. That's why a woman who knows her worth, a woman who is capable of, saying, cut that crap. I'm not taking that shit from you. You can't talk to me. You can't disrespect me like that in front of other women, or you can't come into my matrimonial home with that, energy. And you think I would forgive? Because if the tables were to be turned around, they will never take it.
You know, when we say things like men are afraid of women who scare them, we're not talking about you being
brash, rude,
and the bossy over him, domineering. No, we are talking about the intellect. You have to be able to switch things around when men are becoming naughty, because truth be told, they act up sometimes. They stonewall you, they gaslight you, they make you sometimes, even the ones that are not narcissists. When you've been married over time, you find out that there are cases where men, when they want to wriggle out of some situations, which most of the times they create, or circumstances just happen, situations happen, and they want to wriggle out of it, they want to throw you under the bus. And when situations like that come, you have to stand up for yourself, and you have to make him realize that you are aware of who you are. You're not just going to get lost. You've not lost yourself yet, and you're going to stand up for yourself, and you're going to let him understand that I'm here because I want to be. And when I get it up to here, I'm walking away. And when I walk away, I'm just telling you, I'm not turning back, and I'm not mincing words, and I'm not threatening you. You don't have to tell him. It has to be something that will sink into him. That this woman is capable of this. He should even be able to tell his friends, my madam no dey play, oh, time don't reach where I go house. They might even call him woman rapper, whatever, but a man has to come to that realization that you are not a plaything. You are not a rag doll. You are not a foot mat for him to clean his legs on. And when he gets to that point, he will accord you the respect that you deserve. Exactly. And this fear is not something inordinate, it's not something bad. It's that mutual respect, because a lot of women respect men, but men find it difficult to respect women, to give women their respect back, because most men feel they are superior. Is the patriarchy. They've sold them this ideology for generations, for centuries, that they are superior. A man doesn't have to be rich. A man doesn't have to be handsome. A man doesn't have to be to have value. As long as he's a man, he has that thing between his legs. A man is a man. So you with your PhD, you being the boss of a company, business tycoon, you can't disrespect your driver. You can't talk to your gate man anyhow, because he's a man. Life is I'm not preaching disrespect, but honey, respect is reciprocal.
Right.
Okay, so everyone have to earn that respect, not because of your genitals. You should be able to earn that respect and give it back in due course. You respect your woman respects you. In a situation where your man cannot respect you just because you're a woman, he has to learn.
And the truth is that you can only teach men how to treat you by the way you treat yourself.
Yeah.
If you do not have respect for yourself, if you do not have an iota of integrity, if you do not place yourself on a pedestal where you know that you should never be taken for granted, you know what you bring to the table, you will always be used as a doormat.
And when you say what you bring to the table, I just want to buttress this. A lot of people think most of the time it has to be money, and what does she bring to the table? Is she doing 50-50 with me? Is she doing the... See, if you're a housewife...
We're not doing 50-50. Let me make that clear. You can go on.
Okay. So if you're a housewife and you're there, you're taking care of the home, you're raising these kids, you're the one who popped these kids out, that alone in itself,
it's already a lot of
you
table.
surrendered your body to be used. I know that your kids, you guys are a family, but it's your body that brought them out. The wear and tear of your body is yours. You're a warrior. Those are battle scars. That alone is like 70% of whatever the table is, because many women have lost their lives through that journey.
Many women have been disfigured just because of childbirth. So that's a lot of things that you've brought to the table.
I don't know if I've told you, I had gallbladder stones, like multiple, because my first child, after she was like 6 months when I took in, it just happened. And because of the estrogen surge, the a lot of things happened in my body, and then I had these gallbladder stones. It was so painful, and they had to split me open.
Wow.
And the doctor said it's because of your second child, but they wouldn't advise me to terminate it. I should just try to carry it up to 10. Even if it's not up to the 9 months, then they will just do the surgery, take out the gallbladder stone and bring out the baby. And it was so scary for me. And I still have the,
scars.
Yeah, and the memory and the trauma. So when women go through these kind of things, and then she has to raise this child, the school runs, a lot of men go to work 7 a.m. They
and
just
then
kiss
come back.
the babies, good morning, daddy. They are off with their suitcase, and they don't come back. They don't know how the school runs. The woman will do it, drive them to school if she has a car, because the average Nigerian, most families don't. She will take a bike, or she will stroll. I see a lot of women, 1, 2, 3 kids strolling, running. They are late. Their hair in a bonnet. Some of them with the Nigerian wrapper. You just see them. They just want to. An afternoon, they leave whatever they are doing, maybe their shop, they are running back to the school to pick them up. Some of them take food to them during lunch break, and then she still has to go back, and when they come back, they have to shower. You have to wash their school uniform in between, because kids play, then they cook, and they keep it warm. Oga has to come back and eat, and most men will still come back and be abusive.
No, you can't. with
Telling her she
everything.
smells of onions.
So that is when you stop him in his track and you tell him exactly who you are. And that can only happen when you know who you are as a
Exactly.
woman. Regardless of the fact that maybe you're not earning money, you're just a full-time housewife. You have to understand what you carry,
What you're doing.
what you do as a full-time housewife. You're a woman who is wearing so many hats in a day. If you were to leave that man to handle what you've handled in a home,
or to pay outsource the job,
he will definitely understand what a warrior you are, what a superhuman you are. And it's not like these men don't know. They do know. It's just how selfish.
They're hoping the woman doesn't know. And it works for a lot of them.
Yeah, they're hoping the woman doesn't know. And if you do not speak, that's when he takes advantage of you. It's the truth. And you will ask me, oh, Jane, what do you even know about marriage? I do know because I grew up as a child seeing how
a lot
happening in growing up as a child. At some point in time, I told myself I wasn't ever going to get married because of what I saw my parents go through, especially my mom, in the hands of my dad. I saw it wholeheartedly. It was traumatizing, not just for my mother, but for me as a kid.
The kids, yeah.
Me as a child. And that's why I will, no matter what, it doesn't matter how old I get, I will take my time. It has to be a man who is emotionally
available,
healthy in your mind, in your soul. You've dealt with your trauma. I think the reason why we have lots of dysfunctional homes is because husbands, men, boys who have grown up, or boys and girls who have grown up in dysfunctional homes, right? They come out not fully treating or healing their traumas, getting into a bond with another person who is also coming from a dysfunctional home, or maybe not from a dysfunctional home. Because when one partner is dysfunctional and the other one is, it will rub off.
Yeah.
You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot give love from an empty bowl or from an empty vessel.
Someone else have withdrawn.
You can't
the account is empty.
Yeah, you can't give what you don't know. If you don't know love, if you do not know how love is or what love is, you can't give.
You can't.
What you're giving at that point in time, maybe the initial stage is just feelings. Love is far deeper than feelings. It is the things that are not so comfortable. Do you still feel love for this person? Do you still see them like you saw them the first time you met them?
When the love is changing from the honeymoon phase to something more solid, are you able to navigate the dynamics that are changing?
Yeah, because life comes with hard knocks. So would your love still be steadfast? Well, what do you call love if you're coming from a dysfunctional home, a home where you saw your parents fighting? You can't give what you don't have, basically.
Exactly.
I think that it is imperative for those who are not married yet. It is imperative that you have this talk. It is not about sex all the time. I know that I preach fairy tale kind of love, passion, kiss, how to love, how to do listen, far beyond that. The most integral part of having a very safe environment to exude all of those passion is having the room to ask your partner, or trying to figure out, have a conversation, get to know where they're coming from. If you understand where they're coming from, if it's a dysfunctional home that they're coming from, have they taken time to heal, seeing a therapist to heal?
What do they think love is?
Yeah, we should do less of touching and more of talking. And that's the problem that we have. We are carried away by our emotion, the passion,
ripping the clothes off.
It has to be deeper.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us are broken. I am on my healing journey as well. All right.
I'm still healing till today.
Everyone is healing.
Yeah.
So you have to know who you are as a person to be able to place a man in a situation where he sees that you're not scared to walk away. And that scares men. Especially if they know who you are mentally, physically. We're not talking about women who are shallow now, who are all materialistic.
It's not about bum.
It's not about the physical now.
No.
It's way deeper because, truth be told, this thing will wear off. What remains is your core,
the content,
yeah, who you are, the stuff that you've built over time, over the block of knowledge that you've built over the years.
Yeah.
They come through in helping you navigate your lives together in life. So when all of these things fades off, what remains?
Yeah.
That's why some men sometimes they will tell you, I can't leave this woman no matter what she does. It's not about and if you see the woman, you might think, what's so special about this woman?
She's just ordinary.
She's just ordinary, but she's not. You don't know what she
carries.
What she carries.
She's the oracle in the corner, in the home.
He doesn't make a move without consulting because he knows what he carries. And so his level of disrespect has a limit.
Yeah.
He does not go beyond because he knows that when he goes beyond, it might reach a breaking point.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to.
And I can't do without her.
So honestly, you have to be that woman who a man is scared to lose. What was the topic again?
Men are afraid to lose women that scare them.
And
you have to scare the living daylight out of
And the only way that you can scare a man is when you are invested as well. You've infused yourself in most of his
runnings and doings.
You've intertwined, not just sexually now, his work, his money making. When he wants to make some investment, he comes to you and talks about it.
You know that presidents can't do without their special advisors.
Yeah.
A king cannot do without his special advisor. And it's even sweeter when the special advisor is his queen.
That's why it is advisable that
read.
You're not shallow.
Yes.
Read. Your reading is a weapon that you can use to either make or mar a man, or make or mar a relationship,
or yourself.
If you're not enlightened, if your brain is empty, men will run to the next person who seems smarter than you.
And that smarter person might not be half as beautiful as you are. And you'll be shocked.
Oh my God.
He left me for this.
Guess what Cubana Chief Priest said on a show with Ebuka?
What did he say?
He said, in the midst of this rumor of him getting another woman pregnant, this Kenyan woman pregnant, and he said he
doesn't know her.
He doesn't know her, and if he's impregnated a woman, he would take full responsibility.
That's what
but
he
you
said.
See, my marriage, I cannot leave that marriage. How do we begin to separate our things, me and my wife? That means that woman has netted herself, has cobwebbed herself in his business. For a man to come out and tell you that, or tell the world that I cannot separate from my wife because how we want to start to share our assets. Be smart. Men are only scared of women who are smart. Be smart and be, according to Esther, let him be a sort of man that he cannot make a decision without consulting you.
Yeah.
If you've not placed yourself in that dynamics in a man's life,
you've not started. A man will walk away any day, anytime.
If a man does not see your value in that sense, listen, it is easier for him to disrespect you. It is easier for him to look down on you. It is easier for him to, make you
just treat you
badly.
anyhow.
Treat you badly. So know your self-worth. You know,
Wow.
know your
This
self-worth.
was powerful.
I'm telling
And
you.
deep.
No, I mean, women, we need to come to that point where we
Mm.
understand that we cannot afford to make that mistake our mothers
Mothers
made.
and to understand the power we carry.
We do
contain.
we're not we can, that verse. I think that verse in the Bible is making us feel like we're weaker vessels.
No,
we're not
we are
weaker
not.
vessels.
We are
If
not.
you know the amount of power that you carry, you will not settle for less. You will not accept mediocrity. You will not receive. You will not allow a man disrespect you or play with you or toy with you.
Yeah.
All right. So find that part of you that a man would respect. If he doesn't even respect you at that point, make sure that he knows that you can walk away and not look back.
Exactly.
And make sure that when you're walking away, you better walk away fully without looking back. Never chase. I always say this. Never chase. It doesn't matter
what
he does, how long you've been together. Make sure that once your respect is being compromised, he knows that you're capable of moving.
Not the type that Casey, Cassandra, P. Diddy's girlfriend, he will stomp on her, punch her, kick her. I'm like, what's he kicking? Is he kicking football?
And she was still there.
And she was still there. Thank God she later found it in herself too.
To leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So find the courage of conviction to always walk away from situations that do not favor you. If you see the red flags, listen, know that those red flags will magnify. If you do not call it, if you do not speak about it to him, and if he's not willing to change, a man who loves you would be willing to change his ways.
Yeah.
Just because he wants to keep you and have you in his life. If he's not willing to change for anything in the world, just know that you're not on his topmost priority of things that he values in his life. And with that, we come to the end of this remarkable episode, and we'll be in your faces, darling, because this is not the end of the road.
Yeah. We've made a decision that women must be empowered.
Yes.
And we're on it.
Yes, really.
Together.
Thank you so much, Esther, for being part of this.
Thank you too.
And I can't wait to see what you do on your channel.
Exactly.
All right. From me to you is, God loves you, and I love you too.
We love you too.
Bye.